Well, folks, guess what? I never thought I would say this again, but the Boston Red Sox, and I don't know why I never thought I'd say this again, but the Boston Red Sox have effed up royally once again, and they have traded away another cornerstone franchise player, and they've done it without getting much of a return. It's deja vu, 5 years all over again. I can't even believe that I'm doing this. I am so out. I am done with this effing team. We're not even doing prep for this show. This is all off the riff, baby. It's the Terranadome. It starts right now.
Known as fair square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome.
Terranadome, and it starts right now. And welcome into the show once again, folks. Of course, my name is Scott. It's the Terranadome. It's a Monday, June 16th, 2025. And it turns out that Father's Day 2025 will not go down as a memorable day. Well, hopefully it did anyway, that got to spend time. Hopefully, God bless if your fathers are still with you. Mine still is. And we got to have a good day yesterday. And then as soon as I get home from dinner with my parents, I open my phone and I see that the Red Sox have committed another mortal sin, another unforgivable sin, and have traded away their best hitter by far, Rafael. Traded away to the San Francisco Giants for four players in return. We're not going to focus much on that return today, but the return, folks, in my estimation, is not that great. They got pitchers Jordan Hicks, who is not even a starting pitcher. He's more of an eighth inning pitcher, a former closer who has had Tommy John. They tried to convert him into a starter. He has a 6.47 ERA as a starter this season. And Kyle Harrison, who's 25, a lefty, and only throws two pitches, but yet has promise. They also got a first round pick and outfielder, James Tibbs Woo. He went a pick after the Red Sox first round pick last year, who they then traded to Chicago for Garrett Crochet. And they also got a guy who's currently relieving in high A ball, a guy named Jose Bayo, who people think may or may not be a starter. That is not the point. They traded away their best hitter, the guy that was second in the American League in runs batted in, a guy that was arguably the best hitter in baseball after the month of April so far this season in Rafael Devers. And yes, it is true that this was a two-way street, right? But in all reality, folks, you need to blame this one on the Red Sox. Don't blame this one on the player. And I found it interesting that David Ortiz came out today and say this just goes to show you that no player is irreplaceable. But this guy might as well have been, because there is no way for you to fill this hole in your lineup. It's not possible. It can't be done. And I can't believe I'm sitting here. You know what? I should believe it. I should believe it. Fenway Sports Group, the Boston Red Sox they haven't been the priority for the last 6 years. And that's a fact. And look no further than the fact that they just dropped $150 million to sign a player to the Liverpool Football Club, right? And they just offloaded the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. Tell me none of that stuff's a coincidence. You can't do it. So they trade away their best hitter again. Now, you could argue that this one's worse than Mookie Betts, because at least you kind of had a feeling that they were never going to sign Betts, even though it's still unforgivable because they could have kept him here if they wanted him here, and they simply didn't. So both of these are unforgivable, but this one might be worse. This one might be worse. You commit to this guy, and then less than 3 years later, he's gone. And if you want to get mad at Devers because he wouldn't play in the field, let's just remember, guys, when they decided to sign Alex Bregman late in spring, they told Devers, put the glove away. You're the designated hitter now. Reluctantly, Devers eventually agrees to do that. Now, the smear campaign has already started, where supposedly somebody told him to take grounders at third and first in the spring. He said, I'd rather be traded. I'm not sure I buy that, because they told him to put his glove away. So which story is true? I'll go with the player on this one. He reluctantly said that I play third base. I'm the third baseman, and this is my position. I'm not giving it up. Eventually, he did. He did what they asked him to do. Fast forward a month and a half later, and Tristan Cassis goes down with a catastrophic knee injury. Then they asked Devers to go play first. Devers then calls out the general manager, says, as a former player, I'm surprised that this general manager doesn't know what it's like to try and switch positions. It's just not that easy to do on the fly. He's never played first base before in his life, all that stuff. So Devers and the team, there's clearly a divide at this point, right? That's on the team. So that divide's already been created. You know, there's a rift between Devers and Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow, who was a former player himself. And yet, this guy's attitude towards the players remains what it is, which is dog crap. And then you also have the fact that Alex Cora, who's supposed to be the guy that can get through to all these guys and the guys that this team has rallied around and followed his attitude for years on end now. Example, every trade deadline for the last 3 years when they haven't really added anything to the team has collapsed. That's because of Cora's attitude. The players respond to Cora, and yet they couldn't figure out this rift between Devers and Breslow and Cora. This is just as much on Alex Cora as it is on Craig Breslow. So you have that going on. And then there's cheap ass John Henry. Because guess what? One of the first things that was reported about this trade yesterday was that, oh, San Francisco is going to take on the entire remaining $250 million in the contract. Well, whoop de effing do. Isn't that just great? Isn't that great that the Giants, we just got out from under that $250 million contract? You just swept the New York Yankees. Devers hits a home run in the damn game. You just swept your rival. You've won 5 out of 6 against your hated rival who's in first place in the division. You just got over 500, beating that rival. You've won 5 out of 6 against them in your last 2 weekends. You owned Aaron Judge's ass for the better part of the last 2 weekends, save for 3 swings, right? And then you trade your best player. At least by far your best hitter. I don't even care. This would be exactly like trading David Ortiz. This is this generation's David Ortiz. Don't believe me? Go and watch him every time he plays the Yankees. Go and watch him in the playoffs. Go look at his numbers against those teams. Go look at his numbers against Garrett Cole. This guy shows up and delivers when it matters with the bat almost every single time. He is your generation's David Ortiz. If he's not a top 10 hitter in the game, he's a top 15-ish hitter in the game. And you just gave him up for peanuts. You gave him up for nothing. It's an embarrassment. It's a joke. And it never should have happened again. And shame on me. Shame on me for believing in this damn team and thinking that they were doing something different this time when they went out and they traded for Crochet. They signed Crochet. They signed Alex Bregman and they signed Walker Buehler, and they were actually doing stuff that made it look like they wanted to win and they wanted to compete. But you have to have Devers in that lineup. You were already struggling to score runs with this guy doing everything he could. He carried your ass in the month of May at 31 RBI in the month of May. And you just unload him for nothing? This could be just as bad as the Mookie Betts return. It could be just as bad. Because 5 years later, we've got absolutely nothing to show for Mookie Betts. Connor Wong's your backup catcher. Jeter Downs never made it in the big leagues. And Alex Verdugo had like a year and a half of good baseball for you. He hasn't amounted to dick anywhere else. Absolute garbage that they would do this again. And you know what? Honestly, guys, look over my shoulder back there. You see that big B logo? I had to pay. This is just how it goes, right? I had a nice, it's an old spray paint can with black spray paint, and I was going to spray paint the word fraud right over the logo of the Boston Red Sox, and that was what was going to be on the show today. But of course, typical, it's clogged. I can't do it. So, actually, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me hold that thought. Hold that thought. Don't go anywhere. Hold that thought. Yeah, so I tried to do it again, and I can't get the nozzle cleared up, so that's going to have to wait for another day. But folks, make no mistake about it. This is a dark, dark day. Yesterday, today, and many days moving forward. Another dark day for for the fans of the Boston Red Sox. And now it's no longer just the curse of Mookie Betts, as I floated on the show merely 2 weeks ago. But now it's the curse of Betts, Devers, and Bogarts, because you had all three. You had them all in their primes. You only got one ring out of the deal, and you split them all up within 7 years. Within 5 years, all three of them gone. You can say whatever you want about Bogarts and the fact that they were never going to give him an 11-year contract. Maybe it was time to move on, but that was your leader in that clubhouse. Mookie Betts is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And if Rafael Devers sticks around long enough, he just might put up enough numbers to get there too. And this is what you do. You did it again. You slimy bastards. You did it to this fan base again. You see why I'm wearing a Mets jersey? Because the Expos jersey with Pedro's number on it, that was just a class. That was just a bit of an homage to Pedro, perhaps certainly the greatest pitcher of that steroid era, but maybe one of the greatest of all time, a Hall of Famer in his own right. And another guy whose tenure here ended like crap, folks. It ended like crap. This, on the other hand, this is me telling you that I am out. I'm out. Faith no longer and never again with the Boston Red Sox. Maybe when Henry chokes and croaks in the next, maybe in 20 years from now, when there's a new ownership group in place, maybe then when I'm in my 50s, if I'm lucky enough to still be alive at that point. What an absolute, utter joke. And let me hold on again, because there's one more thing that I want to do on this show. By the way, this is the Terranadome. My name is Scott Terrana. And all this is for this show, folks, is ripping the Red Sox on the trade of another franchise player. I know it says quick hits in the thumbnail. My guy wouldn't listen to me. We're not doing quick hits this week. Sorry, but when a franchise-altering move like this happens, this is the only subject. By the way, congratulations to Brad Marchand having one of the all-time great playoff runs as a player for the Florida Panthers in their eventual run to a back-to-back Stanley Cup. Hold that thought. I'll be right back, because there's one more thing that I want to do on this show, and that is read a bunch of other people's tweets about this situation as it unfolded last night. This is extremely entertaining stuff. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so this is probably something that I will never do again on this show, but I think it is worth doing. It's worth doing, because I am certainly not alone on how I feel about this particular matter. So here we go. These are just the ones that I liked in the last day or so. So here we go. First up, Liverpool spends $115 million on Florian Wirtz the same week Boston trades Rafi Devers. Time to put the tinfoil hat on. From Keegan Stifle, Rafael Devers should have spent his entire career with the Boston Red Sox. It's worse than Mookie Betts, who was entering a contract season and by all accounts prepared to move on. You made the mistake of miscommunicating with him, and you trade him because of his response. Disgusting. Couldn't agree more. Andrew Callahan, Red Sox, Rafael Devers should have been a Red Sox for life. The front office fumbled its relationship with the most important person in the organization and one of the best hitters alive. Couldn't fix it and just punted. Mindless. A complete and utter clown show. Get Breslow the hell out. Could not agree more. Mike McAuliffe, at Brightside Sox, 20 hours ago. Red Sox management can straight up go F themselves. What an incredibly tone-deaf organization. That summed up pretty well. At DaColonel27, Dan K. The Mookie trade didn't leave me speechless. We all saw that coming. We knew in the end the Red Sox wouldn't probably spend for Xander. Trading Devers, I didn't see this coming at all. I'll be in shock for a while. Pretty hard, if not impossible, to replace him in the lineup. And guys, these are some of the more mild ones. At June Lee, it's insane that the Red Sox gave a long-term deal to Rafael Devers in part because of the enormous backlash of the Mookie Betts trade, and this is where the situation ends with a shocking trade to the Giants. This is an organizational failure on so many fronts that Devers is gone. These all speak for themselves. These are people that give a crap, and these are people that are right on the money. At Red Sox Caitlin puts it extremely well. The Boston Red Sox are a bunch of effing fraudulent losers. That's one of my favorites. It's true. At Lady Red Sox, who's one of my favorite follows on Twitter as well. Red Sox sweep the Yankees and vibes are at an all-time high, and we trade the phrase of the franchise. F this team, dude. The ladies are pissed and they should be. At Coley Mick, I believe of Barstool. Yeah, don't really like talking about Barstool guys, but we'll do it anyway. The thing about Tibbs, who was one of the guys I mentioned earlier, he's one of the prospects, the outfield prospect that they got back in this deal. The thing about Tibbs, he was picked directly after Braden Montgomery, who was the Red Sox first round pick, which means they could have picked this guy. The Red Sox just traded their franchise cornerstone for a player they didn't even want to draft less than a year ago. Ceddanne Rafaela Enjoyer account. This is it. This is the last straw. This is the most insufferable franchise on planet Earth. I genuinely effing can't believe it. Should I keep going? I think this is pretty great stuff. I'm just going to keep going. Rafael Devers should have been in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. This is effing BS. Absolutely F you, Craig. That's at Kate Mack. Good stuff, Kate. Another one from Coley Mick. That would have been a mere return for Duran. What the F was that? Ryan Garcia at Ryan Garcia ESM. So what was the reason for the Red Sox acquiring Garrett Crochet, extending him, watching him have his healthiest season to date with insane production, and deciding that isn't the year to keep the foot on the pedal? That's a great call. Jared Carabas, who obviously has had many tweets or, many posts on X. Always going to call it Twitter. It's Twitter. Carabas said at one point last night, if you think this is bad, just wait until the Red Sox let Alex Bregman opt out and go to another team so that they lose both him and Rafi for absolutely nothing. What an embarrassment and self-inflicted disaster the Red Sox have created for themselves. It's truly unbelievable. Lady Red Sox again. F you, Craig Breslow, and I mean that with every fiber of my being. At Rasball brings up a very good point. Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers, and Chris Sale have netted Vaughn Grissom, Alex Verdugo, Connor Juan, Jeter Downs, Jordan Hicks, and Kyle Harrison. Those trades would have had the Red Sox kicked out of a fantasy league. Bullseye. At Scout Girl Report, Andrea, one of the best follows in baseball, by the way. You should absolutely follow at Scout Girl Report. This is not a salary dump for the Red Sox. It's a mishandled situation with one of the best hitters in baseball who should have been a franchise player. Embarrassing, really. Nick Cattles. Trading Devers just as fans started to care about this team again is the most Red Sox trade of all time. Matt Barnes, former reliever for the Red Sox. Matt Barnes, former teammate of Devers. World Series champion with Devers. There's no way they just traded him, ... At David Wade, Cora and Breslow should be out the door next. They can teach a masterclass together on the worst ways to communicate and manage human beings. Devers should have been a better teammate. His actions were selfish, but Cora and Breslow were clueless on how to handle it. At Hillary Horgan, my kids are heartbroken. I am heartbroken. What a truly and absolutely stupid move. How could they? One of the best hitters in the game gone because the front office had their feelings hurt. F off. You're grown men. You're grown men, and you both play the game. This is what happens. It does look like a salary dump, doesn't it? But no, it's because Rafi, you told him to put his glove away, and then he wouldn't pick it back up, so you ship him out. Oh, F him. No, F the Boston Red Sox. I can't believe it. Just as I started investing into this team, I was at the game last Monday night. I just bought 2 new hats. Can't wear them now. Can't do it. Won't do it. All right, this goes on for quite a while. I'm not gonna read all of these. I only got a few left anyway. So this is the last one I'll give you. Actually, I'll give you 2 more. This is at Mike Deportes. A player like Devers should be able to express what he feels, especially when he is not treated as he deserves. This should serve as a lesson for young players. Today it's him. Tomorrow it could be you. Devers is a good guy, calm and without scandals. That's true. Tell me, when have you heard of any problems with him? He doesn't deserve this treatment. Everyone knows he hasn't been valued as he should be, and the situation could have been handled better with simple, good communication. Hashtag Rafael Devers, hashtag Red Sox. And this one from @AskKate. This comment is sending me. Jake says, we've been crashing out for hours. And then Jake responds, Red Sox. Quote, we will give you guys Devers. Giants. All right, who do you want? Red Sox. How about like 4 guys? Giants. Any particular guys? Red Sox. 4 of them. What an absolute joke. Folks, my name is Scott. This is an abbreviated episode of the Terranadome. I am absolutely disgusted. This will not be the last time that this trade is referenced by a long shot on this show. I don't know how I'm going to do the summer now because I'm so pissed off that I don't want to watch this team anymore. And it's going to be the only thing going for 2 straight months until we get to friggin' football. Thank you very much for your support on the show. As always, guys, the positive comments, the feedback, the subscribes, the likes, all that good stuff. I always appreciate it. This sucks, but we'll get through it. Apparently, I'm a Mets fan now. Just remember, I was born after 1986. If I was born before that, I probably would hate the Mets too. We'll be back with an all-new Terranadome sometime next week. Can't tell you when it's going to be, but we will be back shortly. Enjoy the ranting. I'm sure that there's stuff that I left out, but you can only rant for so long off the top of the dome before you lose your effing mind. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. We will see you again soon. Peace. Terranadome. Minnesota was doomed from the start. I mean, this was a ass whooping. There's nothing short of that. It was a complete ass whooping. But I will tell you what, my friend, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And it is time to get them back in the AFC Championship game. I believe that, listen, you're right about Derrick Henry, especially in cold weather. No one's going to want to tackle that guy. So it's going to be imperative for the Buffalo Bills to jump out early in this game and get a lead and force Lamar Jackson to have to play from behind. If they can do that, they're going to win this game. Mention things that we love to hear, like we're getting the entitlement out of our team, and we're going to earn the opportunity to come into this building every day. I absolutely love that. One thing I will say for sure, yes, they definitely need to go and spend some friggin' money. They're going to have the most cap space in the league, and I'm going to kill them every week on this show until they spend money.
Known as fair and square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome.
Terranadome, and it starts right now.